Good morning, everybody, and thanks for joining us on this morning's webinar. My name is Pip Betts, and I manage the brand new ERDF-funded Flood Innovation Centre at the University of Hull. So this webinar this morning is as part of a series that the university is bringing to you, and they are all part of this One Humber week of events that's all centred around resilience in the current situation, business resilience in the current situation. So a big thank you to Humberlet for organising the One Humber Week. So the title of today's webinar, as you'll see on your screen, is Develop Your Business with Funded Innovation Support from the University of Hull. So at the university, we've got a long and established track record of supporting the growth and resilience and innovation of local businesses and the local economy. And our new innovation centres, our two new innovation centres, are the latest addition to this offer, this innovation support offer. And they provide a community and an actual space for businesses to come and interact with the university in the interests of pursuing innovation. So, and the two innovation centres that we've set up are, they provide specialist support in relation to low carbon and flood resilience. Bear with me. So through the innovation centres, we can really help you to develop your ideas that will eventually help you to grow your business. They're a great place to come and meet other like-minded businesses who are looking to do the same or the similar thing to you, and so there's that opportunity for collaboration there. But there's also obviously a great opportunity to tap into the global academic expertise that we have at the university. You can get access to specialist workshops that can be delivered from our research base, and also access to the latest technology and facilities that we've got within our kit. You'll hear a little bit more about those later. And on all of that support under the expert guidance of a wealth of academics from a whole variety of backgrounds. So the innovation centres are a real place to sort of inspire you to have new ideas, to collaborate with us and other businesses, and really look at increasing your profitability and helping to boost your cash flow, which we all are aware will be really important in the coming months. So as well as what's available from the innovation centres, we also have other streams of innovation grant support. You may be aware of the Spark Fund programme. That's been around for 3 years now, and they've done loads of work locally, and that's about offering grant support for innovation with our local businesses. We also have a bioeconomy based programme, so that's the Time project. So that's all about supporting businesses that want to get a foothold in the bioeconomy. But across the projects, we all work really closely together. So the advisors regularly kind of meet and discuss who they've got coming through the doors. And it would always be that if we feel that you might be better supported by one of our sister projects, we'd refer them to you. Or it might be that you work with more than one project at a time. That's absolutely fine. But rest assured that we would work really hard to get you the bespoke package of support that is exactly what your business needs. So to introduce today's panellists, you'll hear, there they are on the screen. So you'll hear in a second from Sarah Clark. So Sarah's the operations manager at the Aura Innovation Centre. So she's going to give you a little bit more of an overview about what there is at the Innovation Centre and what's available to you. She'll be followed by Dr. Ellis Marshall, who also based at the Aura Innovation Centre. Ellis is going to give you a little bit more of an in-depth view of what's available from the technical kit and the technical support that you can get via the Aura Innovation Centre. And then that'll be followed by a presentation from Dr. Chun, who works with me at the Flood Innovation Centre. Similar to what Ellis is doing, he'll be outlining what the support is, what the technical facilities are that are available to any businesses looking to get support through the Flood Innovation Centre. We will have some kit based within the Aura Innovation Centre and some kit based on campus. So Chun will give you an overview of what it is we can help you with. And then I'll be back to Sarah, who'll do a bit of a roundup at the end. We'll then have a live question and answer session. So you should be able to see there's a Q&A box on your screen. So please feel free to answer. I'm just trying to look and see if anybody's asked any yet, but please feel free to ask questions as we go, so you just type those into the screen and the panelists can type responses live to that as we go. Or if you're feeling really brave, then hold your questions back and you can enter those into the live Q&A at the end, where we'll do live responses. We are recording today's webinar, so we'll be circulating the link after today, so you can watch it again and again and catch up should you desire. Or please feel free to circulate to any colleagues that you know might be of interest. It might be of interest too. We've got an evaluation form at the end. Please take a minute to fill that in for us. It's really helpful to hear what you thought about today's webinar, but also to hear if there are any ideas that you've got for future content of stuff you might want to hear about from us. So that would be really helpful. So that's it from me. We're just going to start now. We're just going to show you a little video which explains the concept of knowledge exchange, which is essentially why universities get involved in supporting local businesses and communities. It's all about taking the research base and the knowledge that's developed within the university and transferring it out to be able to help the local economy or local communities. So sit back and enjoy. Thanks very much.
Effective knowledge exchange has never been more important to UK universities. But what is knowledge exchange?
For me, knowledge exchange is really about sharing our information with anybody who sits outside of that traditional academic sector. So that might be decision makers, local business people, international businesses, schools, colleges, any other groups, informal members of the public that might be interested in the sort of thing we do.
So for me, knowledge exchange is using academic research in combination with practitioner experience. So it's a two-way street. We learn from each other. So while I've got the insight that I've got from all the research, the academic research I've done looking at the PhD and the postdoctoral research afterwards, what works in theory won't necessarily work in practice. So for me, it's really important to work with practitioners to be able to understand how and what can be implemented to increase impact on the ground. I'm able to add value to that with my academic research, but a lot of my academic research has been influenced by those practitioners' knowledge.
We are working with SMEs to help them innovate. The Flood Resilience Innovation Centre is one example where we're working with regional SMEs. It's funded by the European Structural Investment Fund, and we are using our expertise to help them innovate, to come up with new solutions to tackle flood resilience, which is really important in this region. Another example is the Aura Innovation Centre, where again we're working with regional SMEs to help them come up with solutions that will help tackle a changing climate and move towards a zero carbon economy.
Knowledge exchange is core university business. It's why we do what we do. It can be informed by our research, but it can also be informed by our teaching and by our work with communities and external partners. Knowledge exchange is about using what the university does to make life better, to improve economies, to improve society, and to improve health and well-being.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you, Pip, for that introduction. So, as Pip's already said, my name's Sarah Clark. I do look slightly different to that profile picture with COVID hair going on here. But anyway, so the climate's changing. You know, we all know that. We all have a role to play in our personal lives, in business and our workplaces. The university has a role to play, and there's a range of academic expertise who are involved in researching low carbon solutions. Next slide, please, Chun. So the Aura family, I'll just explain a little bit about that. So it began in 2015 when Aura was established as a collaboration between academia and industry to work out ways of reducing the cost of the emerging offshore wind industry. And this was prior to Siemens blade factory being constructed and getting into manufacturing. Since then, the Aura Centre for Doctoral Training was developed. The Centre for Doctoral Training won funding of 5.5 million. To establish a number of PhD placements over a 5-year period in collaboration and delivery with the university's Energy and Environment Institute. The Aura Innovation Centre was next to be established with funding from both Europe and national government. The IIC opened early this year, so we've been open since January. We have a range of benefits to all sizes of business with intentions to innovate and to reduce carbon in all sectors. So my colleague Ellis Marshall, he will go into to describe some of that detail later on. The IIC also hosts collaboration space for SMEs to rent desk space. meeting and event space and facilities for product launches and demonstrations, and to collaborate with like-minded SMEs and businesses within and outside of the supply chain. And finally, the latest addition to the Aura family is the Flood Innovation Centre, established by the Energy and Environment Institute, again with funding support from Europe. The Innovation Centre aims to help SMEs to develop innovative technologies to mitigate against the risk of flooding. I think that the fact that we have to live with flooding, we're not going to prevent flooding, that's not going to happen, not for a long time, if at all. So this is about mitigating and coming up with innovative technologies to live with flooding, essentially. So next, we're just going to play you a very short video, which is a snapshot of the Aura Innovation Centre's video. The full version can be seen on our website, and we'll give you details of that later. So Chun, if you could play the video, please. Thank you.
In each age, there are incredible places that attract brilliant minds to unite, to tackle the big issues of the day, through collaboration and innovation, to accelerate change. Today, we face the biggest climate challenge of our time. We all have a role to play by finding innovative solutions for a new carbon-free world. Welcome to the Aura Innovation Centre, a unique community of innovative thinkers, scientists, inventors, researchers and problem solvers that are pushing the boundaries in shaping the future of low-carbon innovation. Rooted in the Humber, the UK's energy estuary, we are securing the UK's position as an international leader in renewable energy. A place where science meets enterprise to create profitable solutions to deliver clean growth for your business. Welcome to a place like no other. Welcome to the AIC, Aura Innovation Centre.
Thank you. So this is a night view of our amazing building, which we're slightly biased on, of course. But the AIC, for those who don't already know, is based at Bridgehead Business Park in Hessel, just across the way from East Riding Council's Ergo Business Centre. And we provide complementary services. So the business centre at Ergo provides business centre space, so you can rent office space from them. With ourselves, you can rent a desk space, so it's easy in out terms in both buildings, and we work across and complement what we offer. And the AIC is the front door to the university for businesses wanting to access any kind of innovation support in any kind of sector. And the next slide, please, Chun. So the university itself has an ambitious plan to become carbon neutral by 2027. We've made good progress already, having reduced our carbon emissions by 31%, but we still have a lot to do and problems to solve. But as climate impacts become more severe, standing still is simply not an option for us. Most of our carbon emissions across campus and across other buildings are from the production and consumption of energy, and that's where we can make the biggest difference. We're transitioning to renewable sources of energy to fuel our campus. We're also making further energy efficiencies on campus through optimising our buildings and campus infrastructure. On the AIC building, as an example, we did have fitted some solar panels on part of the building as part of the BREEAM Excellent target that we're aiming for. We're increasing our recycling and reducing waste and use of single-use plastic, and we're reducing our water consumption on campus and our car share scheme. We're providing updates on our major milestones along this journey to become carbon neutral, so please keep an eye on our website for updates on progress, and if you have any ideas that we can utilise to increase our progress in this manner, please get in touch with us, please come and talk to us. So I'll now hand over to my colleague, Dr. Ellis Marshall, who is my technical manager at the Innovation Centre, and who will talk through in a little bit more detail the benefits to businesses that you can receive from the AIC. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sarah, and thank you very much, Pip, for the introduction. I just want to talk more about the Aura Innovation Centre and the technical capabilities that it has inside. I want to start off by saying, though, that today's CO2 output, or CO2 in the atmosphere, is 417. This is way above what we need, and we need to reduce it. And this is where the AIC comes in. We are looking across the whole country to reduce CO2, but the AIC, so the Aura Innovation Centre, is specifically set up to accelerate low carbon transition for the Humber region. So for you as a business to interact with us, we are here for you. So how can low carbon innovation happen? Or what is low carbon innovation? So it can happen in any industry. There is no limit to what industry it can happen. We've got examples in the agriculture and urban farming. We've got carbon reduction. We've already seen carbon reduction moving away from fossil fuels and more towards renewable energies. We can look at plastic recycling and breakdown. And we can also look at waste management and how we recycle and how we manage our waste. And on the waste management side as well, we can also look at the supply chain and see how we can reduce the carbon output there as well. So there is no limit to how we can cut the low carbon cost of your business. So what does the ASC offer to you as a business? We offer 4 things in general. So 1, we can shape and accelerate low carbon projects. We have access to specialist funding. We have access to research and testing facilities within the University of Hull and its partners. And we can bring together these skills, knowledge and expertise all in one building. So shape and accelerate low carbon projects and access to specialist funding. I'd like to invite Dave Dawson, one of our innovation managers, to actually talk more on this topic and to give a few examples of businesses involved with low carbon projects. So could I play the video of Dave?
I'm Dave Dawson. I am one of the innovation managers for the Aura Innovation Centre. The Aura Innovation Centre is a purpose-built facility for business engagement in the region. Our priority is helping the region transition to a low-carbon economy. To do this, we have seed funding to help SMEs in the region develop low-carbon products and services. Now, the kind of things that can perform would be market analysis, feasibility studies, lab testing, and also prototyping. Our team are focused on matching business needs to university expertise and facilities. The process and the project and results are presented to you at the end. We would then be able to look at extra stage or next stage funding for you to take it to the next level. We have over 40 projects in delivery at the moment, and they cut across a whole range of areas within the university, ranging from artificial intelligence through to the circular economy. But one project in particular that I'm looking at, a huge opportunity for the region and nationally and internationally as well. We are currently sat on some of the hottest rocks in the UK, believe it or not, which means that we have a vast supply of heated water. And what we're looking to do is to understand from a business perspective how they can really maximise that geothermal energy. And also looking to gain some really high efficiency green energy. Massive opportunity, 12-month programme involving 5 businesses. Can't wait to see what comes out from this. We're doing a lot of work with the agricultural sector, and we're working with a business consultant who also grows vine peas in the East Riding area and is part of a cooperative with over 40 other companies involved. Quite a lot of waste coming from the vine peas as they are harvested, and it currently sits on the field. So we were looking at whether or not we could use it for biofuels or other applications from the carbon side. So the long and short of it is just get in touch. We'd welcome a conversation because you never know where this can take you.
Thank you very much, Dave. So yeah, I'd like to reiterate his last point. If you can see a low carbon project in your business, or you even can't see a low carbon project in your business, please do just get in touch. You can get in touch. We'll give the details at the end of this webinar. I'd like to go through the second points I've got here now. So access to research and testing facilities and bringing together the skills, expertise and knowledge that you may need to do a project or you may need to innovate. So could I move to the next slide? So I'd like to introduce the Aura Innovation Centre, and I'd like to go into a bit more detail about what we've got in the centre itself. So I'd like to start on the ground floor. We've got our tech demonstration area. This is where we can invite businesses in to showcase and demonstrate their products, their equipment. We can do events down there. It's a very flexible space, but it is there to do these big innovative product launches. We've got behind that, we've got the workshop, which is home to an extensive range of equipment that you may need. I'm going to talk more about the workshop in the next slide. So I'll go upstairs and we've got our conference and event space. We have state-of-the-art conference spaces and equipment. We've got AR, VR as well. We've got our augmented reality and virtual reality rooms. We call it our innovation space, and I'm currently in it, and it's got a green screen as well, so it can really bring anything to life. And then on the top floor, we have our collaboration zone. So this is where we invite SMEs to rent out space, to collaborate with us, to be in the same building as us, to innovate faster, quicker, and we can accelerate your growth. So yeah, I'd like to talk more about the workshop now. So could I move to the next? So the workshop, I have segregated it into sort of 4 different areas. So we can have advanced materials, we have a societal section, we have a digital section, and a advanced fabrication. So what we can do is very broad, and we can help you. If we can't help you in-house, we can surely point you to a partner, either in the university or to another university. But what we have is in advanced materials, we're able to do materials characterization. So we can actually look at failure analysis. So if you have a product that has failed or a material that's failed, any application to do with materials characterization, we can help. We have renewable technologies. So we actually have some solar panels moving into the AIC soon to do some research on them. And again, that builds into our research enterprise that we can push forwards. We have an advanced fabrication center where we can do composite manufacturing, as well as rapid prototyping. So 3D printing of composite materials, of metals, or of a novel material that you generate with us. Within this as well, we can do product development. So we can look at designing a new product with you. We can do design iterations. And in conjunction with our rapid prototyping, we can accelerate your product development faster. In advanced fabrication as well, we have printed circuit board manufacture as well. So then in our digital section, we have simulation. So we have lots of augmented reality and virtual reality tools available to a business. We have access to Viper, which is our high performance computer based on campus. And then within this as well, we can do a lot of business development. And then finally, we get onto our societal side. So this is looking at the impact of the environment and impact on the environment and community, and the societal impact on that. And we can also look at business sustainability. So we have these 4 main strands of the workshop, and we have many facilities available to you and your business. So with that in mind, I just want to introduce our next speaker, which is Dr. Chun Keat, to take the floor. Thank you.
Thank you ever so much, Ellis, as well as Pip and Sarah for the overview of the University Business Support Programs, and Ellis for the introduction to the Aura Innovation Centre technical capabilities. Good morning, everyone. I'm Chun. I'm one of the 3 technology research managers that's on the Flood Innovation Centre programme. So our programme, our slogan is actually shaping the future of flood innovation. So I truly believe that we have to work together as a community to prevent and stop floods, which are currently happening on a more frequent and more intense basis. And this is all due to climate change. And so the Flood Innovation Centre is here to try and help companies as well as ourselves do that. So I'd like to talk a bit more about the Flood Innovation Centre. The Flood Innovation Centre is funded by the European Regional Development Fund, ERDF. It's led by the Energy and Environment Institute at the university. So our aim is to help SMEs and businesses by providing bespoke packages of support to help them develop their ideas, products and applications, or any type of innovation ideas that they may have in which to support flood resilience and protection within this flooding sector. So essentially, we work together with the AIC as well as other academics within the university to come up with this package of support. Obviously, we have access to testing facilities such as the ones on the list, and obviously we can support a wide range of development stages depending on your idea, all the way from proof of concept to commercialization stages. So obviously all our support packages, as Pip, Sarah and Alice have confirmed as well, all our packages of support are bespoke. It is essentially a collaboration between ourselves, the university and the SME. And obviously we can also provide, for example, workshop programs to help you develop technical content further, or a dissemination of information as well as upskilling if we need to. So to further give you an idea of some of the packages of support facilities that we have, here are some of the assets that we have and which we work with, which can help you leverage to be used to help develop your idea and SME within the development of products within the flood resilience sector. So some of it is based at AIC, some of it is based on site at the university, for example, like the one on the lower left, which is a flume on the university, whereas our PCB prototyping equipment on the top right corner, that's based at the AIC. So yeah, so we have some cutting edge instruments that we can actually use as assets to help this support process. Let's go to the next slide. Ooh. Okay, so here I'd like to walk you through the project journey and the innovation process that you will take when you sign on with us. So we've broken it down to 5 steps. So it starts with support diagnostic, then moving on to a project specification before delivering the project, and then looking at what's next once it's completed. So first step is our team will lead you through a diagnostic process. We will learn all about your idea. We want to know all about your idea. And once we go through that process, we will then decide if you need workshop support. For example, this is when we've identified perhaps an upskilling process within your members of staff within your company might be the best way forward for you to move this project onwards. So this is where we'll undertake workshop experience with you. Or if you need deeper project support or higher innovation support, we can link you up with academics within the university who could be a leading expert with cutting edge research within your field of work. And we can coordinate this for you and find out what's the best way to collaborate moving forward. We then make a decision and come up with a project specification. And then we move into project delivery. So this is where my colleagues, Elena and Hyatt, and myself as technology research managers gets to work with you. This is where the work gets done. So for example, we will then deliver the project. We will work with you together to deliver your project to completion. And hopefully we can complete that on time, on cost, before we move on to the next step to look at how we can actually move your idea and your innovation further on the chain. So these are the 5 steps that you will actually involve with us moving forward onto the process. So here I'd like to talk about the 2 companies which have signed up with us. So the first one here we have is 2B Landscape Consultancy. So they are chartered architects, chartered landscape architects, and as well as a registered practice of the Landscape Institute. So they undertake a wide variety of work which covers landscape assessments, landscape design, as well as a lot of visualization work. So essentially they're specialists in sustainable drainage solutions, SUDS, as well as flood management solutions. And they would want to work with us. They like to work with us to become the company that people turn to when they look for SUDS as well as natural flood management solutions. And we really look forward to working with Bill and his team to make that reality and to achieve this aim. So we look forward to this collaboration. So the second company that has signed up to this program with us is HFR Solutions. So HFR Solutions is a specialist provider of emergency response services and provides consultancy and workplace safety solutions. So they are accredited to various ISO standards and they deliver their program from purpose-built training facilities throughout the Humber. So Nick, who is the managing director of HFR Solutions, has come back to say the university is uniquely placed within this region with our experts and specialists to be able to help them with their program. And we very much look forward to working with them to make the Humber region a safer place to live and work. So thank you both to Bill and Nick for supplying us with their statements of intent. And we really look forward to be able to start work with you on the project delivery as soon as we can. So please get in touch. As Ellis, Sarah and Pip has mentioned as well, please get in touch. We'd really love to hear what you have, what your ideas are for both the AIC, the Aura Innovation Centre, as well as the Flood Innovation Centre. Our Flood Innovation Centre website is being launched live today. So please get on there and tell us what ideas you have. It could be any inquiries, it could be any questions. Please come up to our website, please get in touch, and one of our teams will get back to you as soon as we absolutely can. So these are the 2 websites that you should definitely check on. And I'd like to pass you back to Sarah, who will talk about more of the partners within who works together with the university on these programs. Sarah.
Thank you. Thanks, Chun. Thanks, Ellis, as well for your insights into both the Aura Innovation Centre and Flood Innovation Centre projects. So we've all mentioned already that we work with different partners and different funded projects, so some within the university already. So the two others that the university lead on are the Time project and the Spark Fund project. All of their contact details you can find on our Aura Innovation Centre website. But we also work with other funders that are outside of the university to provide complementary support. So the supply chain network is delivered by the Ergo team from East Riding Council, based across the way at the Ergo Business Centre, and the Humber LEP developed the delivery on the Humber Growth Hub. And so the Humber Growth Hub is a one-stop shop for all kinds of business support. So whether it's anything to do with business support that's required, you know, obviously at the moment we've got the COVID situation going on. If you need any support there, then check out the Business Growth Hub's website, or ask us any questions and we will try and help. Which brings me nicely on to our Q&A session. So if anybody has any questions that they'd like to pose to any of the panellists, you can, Chun, correct me if I'm wrong, but you can add a question to the Q&A button, or I believe there's a live way of doing it as well.
Yeah, so yes, so if anyone wants to ask any questions, you can raise your hand, and I can actually allow you to speak through via your microphone, and we can do it live. Or you can pose any questions directly onto the Q&A button that you can see on your panel, and we will be able to take them directly onto the panel straight from there.
Brilliant, thank you. So while we're waiting for that, for some questions to come through, I'll just briefly talk about our reopening plans. So of course, you know, we're in the position now where everything has been locked down. Everything's been locked down for some weeks now, including the Aura Innovation Centre and Flood Innovation Centres. The Aura Innovation Centre, we're looking at how we can open safely, using the IRC as the test case for the university to start welcoming students, additional students back onto campus as well. So we're working really hard to get into a position where we are going to be able to open. We're going to be able to open for businesses to access support actually on the premises, as opposed to just doing everything online. Have we got a question there? So you said you want to know about our ideas. How do we know they will be kept confidential? Thank you, James Gilbert, for that question. So I'm not sure if everyone can see that, so I'll just repeat that question. You said you want to know about all our ideas. How do we know that they will be kept confidential? So the answer to that is either through an NDA, if that's something that you would, as a business, you would want to have put in place, and that's absolutely fine. We can turn those around within 24 hours. Or the fact that we are, we are the University of Hull. We have an awful lot of integrity. We also are funded, and part of our funding regime and part of our funded contracts means that we keep your information confidential. We don't share your ideas outside at all. Unless you've given us prior permission to do so in writing. So you can be fully assured that whatever you talk to us about will be kept utterly confidential. We work within the rules of GDPR, which was the new version of the Data Protection Act. So your ideas are absolutely secure with us. So we've got another question from Bill Blackledge. Can you explain what financial support there may be to implement product and service development following a Flick Aura innovation project? So that's quite a handy question to ask, actually, Bill, because our Spark Fund team have grants available. The grants available are for research and development, for innovation, and for low carbon. So they're pretty well covered, and they have financial support available now for the next 18 months. So if you have a project with us, with either the Flood Innovation Centre or the Aura Innovation Centre, then we can help develop a package of support which will involve Spark Fund, or it could involve a project from outside of the university, to be able to provide and help you, handhold you through the process to get complementary funding for the next stage, and possibly the next stage after that, which could involve UKRI, which is Innovate UK kinds of funding. So hopefully that answered your question. And again, all of their contact details are available on our website, so please have a look there. So Louise Smith has asked a question. So what is the cost of taking space in the collaboration space within the IRC, and how does the space work? Thank you, Louise. So the cost of taking space in the collaboration space is £50 per week per desk space. We have a couple of businesses who are chomping at the bit really to actually get into the to the centre. We have a couple of businesses signed up already. The collaboration space is exactly that. It's space to collaborate with other businesses and with ourselves based within the AIC. You can get access to printers if you need it, but also the fact that you'll be based within the IRC, you have access to the expertise that we have. So Ellis, our innovation managers, academic expertise that we have working within the AIC, and our AR/VR development team as well. If there's anything that that can add as a complementary addition. How does the space work? It's an open space. Businesses can take space. They can work with me to work out which element of space that they want. We can put screens up as well if you need a little bit of confidential space as well, or if you just want a couple of desks, then that's available as well. So again, please send an inquiry through the website and we can get back in touch with you with some more detailed quote information to work on your bespoke needs. Thanks, Louise. Lance Arrow-Smith, you sent a question. We're working towards version 2 of a flood defence door we have developed. Could we talk about what assistance may be available? Right, well, I will stop talking now and I will let Chun answer that one, or Pip.
Thank you, Sarah. Hi, Lance. Yes, please get in touch with us as soon as you can via the website, and we can then move on to exploring if we can actually work together as soon as we can. So hopefully, well, this sounds really exciting. So flood defense door, so we really would like to work with you. And so please send an inquiry through the website as soon as you can, and we will get back to you as soon as we can. Pip, is there anything you would like to add to this?
No, I've just typed the answer. I've just retyped the website on there. As Chun said earlier, we're very excited to announce that the website's gone live today. And as part of that new website, we've got an inquiry form on there. So the best thing to do, Lance, is get that inquiry form filled in today. That'll come through to us and we can go from there. So we look forward to hearing from you.
Absolutely.
Thanks,
thank you ever so much. I think there was one more question early on.
Have I missed one?
No, sorry. I think you've covered it all for now.
I think we've done them all.
Yeah. Is there any more questions from the floor? Anyone can put their hand up, and I'm happy to unmute you to let you speak and ask your questions. Oh, there's one more question currently. So so from an anonymous. So how does Flick work with the local authorities? So how does the Flood Innovation Centre work with the local authorities? Pip, would you be happy to answer that question?
Yeah, that's absolutely fine. So that's a great question, actually. So we there are obviously the 4 local authorities because we're a Humber-based project. So we are looking at discussions with Hull City Council, East Riding of Yorkshire Council, and North and North East Lincolnshire Council. So we've had some preliminary discussions with certainly with East Riding and Hull, with the flood teams there and the sustainable development teams there, and looking at how we can, Hull City Council are involved. In fact, I think most of the councils in the region are involved in a DEFRA-funded Pathfinder project, which is all about trying to develop property level flood resilience. So we've been speaking to the local authorities about that. We had some contact with South Bank local authorities. That's been more in a sort of business development capacity. We've been speaking to the kind of business facing external funding teams there to look at how we can promote the project. But we're keen to build on those relationships with the kind of flood asset strategy teams to see what it is we can do. We're having some discussions with East Riding. They've got they're looking at the Goole Town deal, so they're looking at developments that are happening within Goole. There's lots of housing going on there, and obviously Goole's in quite a low-lying area on the bank of the Humber. So we're looking to do some early work with them to see how we can offer support and offer some workshops to try and help the construction companies that get involved with that development work, helping them to be more flood resilient in their practices. So that's a brief sort of overview of how we're looking to work with the local authorities, but I really see those relationships going from strength to strength. There are lots of areas across the local authorities that we can be working with. So we're interested in community resilience as well. So any teams that are sort of doing the outreach work with flood-prone communities, we're keen to work with those as well. So any local authority contacts on the call who want to give us a shout, we'd love to hear from you. We're literally just trying to get going and speak to all the people that we need to speak to. So I hope that answers your question.
Brilliant, thanks, Pip. So we've had another question actually through the chat, part of the system here. So we've had a question from Richard Hall of PDM, product design innovation consultancy based in North Yorkshire. So Richard's asking what involvement, if any, could they have with the initiatives in terms of commercial translation. Again, this is a conversation to have directly with us. Richard, Pip and I am sure would be happy to have a conversation with you, in addition probably to some of our other funded projects. So we do have to work in the realms of restrictions because we are ERDF funded. However, that's not to say that there aren't things that we can do with external organisations and commercial organisations, particularly the OR Innovation Centre, because as much as we have received some ERDF funding and we still receive it now for to provide business support, we also received it to help with fund the construction of the building and some of the equipment that goes in it. So as a commercial offer and a sustainable asset that the university has earned, we do need to work on commercial activity as well as the ERDF funded support. So it's a conversation that we can have in some more detail. So again, please get in touch with us through the website. So we've got another question here from Louise Smith. So is Flick linked to the planned ARC project in Scunthorpe that the University and Humberside Fire and Rescue Services are working on? So I'll leave Pip to answer that one. Thank you.
Thanks, Louise, for that question. And I'm pleased to say, yes, Flick is definitely linked to the planned ARC project that's taking place in North Lincolnshire. So a little overview for attendees if they're not aware of the ARC project. It's a design and build project to build a bespoke training centre on the South Bank to offer directly flood resilience training for primarily for emergency support services. So it's a partner project between Humberside Fire and Rescue and the university. And we're just looking to seek the national government funding to build that centre. So the purpose of the centre, as I've said, it started out with Humberside Fire and Rescue as very much a training centre, because a lot of the flood training that happens in rivers and natural watercourses. So you've got no control over how the water flows or what's in the water. So quite often emergency personnel were doing that training and then getting quite ill from having spent time in that water. So this is a purpose-built training facility to undertake rescue operations in a flood scenario. The university's got more involved because obviously there's a great opportunity there to kind of model street scenes and to have kind of flume areas and test beds and test centres. So a real life testing facility for flood walls, flood barriers, what have you, and the opportunity. So it's essentially like a street that's surrounded by a kind of a moat, if you will. So you can push cars down it. You can see what happens when what happens with the speed of pushing a car down it or getting a fire engine down it. So it's a really exciting project, and it's always been the intention that Flick, or the Flood Innovation Centre, is a sister project to ARC. So as and when ARC secures funding nationally to get built, the intention is that the Innovation Centre, the Flood Innovation Centre, will port to ARC, and you will be able to receive Flood Innovation Centre services via ARC. So that was quite a long-winded way of going around that, but I hope that answered your question, Louise. Thanks.
Brilliant, thanks, Pip. So we have another question that's just come in, actually, which is another one for yourself and Chun to answer. So this is, as large construction civils projects take place, such as the A63 Castle Street development, are you getting involved to help model the potential effect that these may have on the area by pushing floodwaters elsewhere?
Yes, so I think we'd be happy to be involved in projects such as these, but we do rely on companies proactively coming forward to access the support that is support programs that are actually available at the university. So currently, as the Flood Innovation Centre project is a really young one, we haven't had companies like these approaching us, but we would love to be able to work on projects like these. And moving forward, yeah, so please come and talk to us. Please send any inquiries through. We'd love to hear what you have to say. So please go onto the website, drop in your information, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can.
I think Hyatt's put her hand up there. Chun, can you unmute Hyatt?
Yes.
So Hyatt's one.
I was actually just managing the Q&A panel for you. Just talking.
Sorry,
I can stand if you like, but I think Chun's answered it pretty well.
Thank you.
You got a burning addition to that answer. So Hyatt's another one of the technology research managers on the Flood Innovation Centre project. So yeah, just to add to what Chun said there, that's absolutely what we're trying to look at. That's the conversations I've been having with the local authorities. Obviously, as there are large infrastructure projects underway, we would very much like to be supporting the supply chain to get those, the local construction industries and companies that take part in those large-scale civil developments. We very much want to work with the SMEs so that we can kind of build the supply chain opportunities locally, and that we're looking at flood resilience building into that. So that's definitely something we'd be interested in hearing about, if that's an opportunity.
Thank you, Pip. So I've had a raised hand from Adam Barkworth early on. Adam, are you still happy to ask your questions, or would you like to type it in? Oh, so one more question just literally popped up.
He was just waving.
Oh, yes. Hi, Adam.
No problem, Adam.
Okay.
Yes.
Brilliant. Right, well, thank you very much to all of the panellists, and thank you very much to all of your questions as well, for all of your questions. If you have anything else that you think of afterwards, please just let us know through the website, and I'll just hand over to Pip to do.
Thanks, Sarah. So it was more thank yous. Thanks to all the panel that have taken part today. We hope that there's some great questions there and some great answers to some great questions. I hope that we've answered all of the questions that you might have had, and also helped you to understand, if you've driven past and seen the fabulous new Aura Innovation Centre and wondered what that does, hopefully you now have a much better idea of what that centre is, and we'd love you to come and see us there, come and look at the space that we've got to offer, and come and look at the support that we can offer to your business, or any businesses that you might know of. So please spread the word. So yes, thanks again to everybody who's called in today. Thanks to the panellists and to the LEP for organising this really helpful series of events for One Humber. The two websites are there, so the best way to get in contact with us is via our websites. You'll see they look quite similar. That's on purpose to see, so that you feel like you're being offered a streamlined service from both of the innovation centres. The Flood Innovation Centre website's gone live today. We're very excited about that. The registration form is now live, so fill that in. We'd love to hear from you. And please take a minute to fill in that evaluation form, as I said. I think I've covered everything there, but a massive thanks. We'll be in touch. We'll circulate the link to this webinar when we've got that compressed into YouTube. So thanks from me. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thanks again. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.